Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin just hit the exact technical price targets for this pattern, while Bitcoin is now breaking out of this new bullish pattern that we need to pay attention to. And on top of that, Ethereum is now forming a new pattern in the short term, so I'll be talking about that later in the video. Definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is running into this significant area of resistance, sitting in between around 36,000 to 38,000. And so once again, like I said a few weeks ago, when the price of Bitcoin was breaking out above 28,000, we should be targeting around 36 to 38k as the next major area of resistance, which right now is playing out. But obviously, this also means it's possible we could see some sort of rejection or struggle at this price range. Basically, a sideways consolidation or a possible rejection or pullback could be a likely scenario within the next few weeks, since this is major resistance. And in case you're new to this channel, this major area of resistance in between around 36 to 38k is based on two different reasons. First of all, we have previous supports that we saw back in Q1 of 2022, major supports back then, which is now acting as new resistance. And on top of that, if you're bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from all-time high down to the bear market bottom, on the linear settings, we can see the 38.2% Fibonacci level of resistance sitting at pretty much exactly 36,000. But if we end up seeing a confirmed breakout back above around 36 to 38k, then in that case, the next level of resistance on the weekly time frame, on the larger time frames that I'll be watching, is sitting at around 42,000, and above that we have the golden pocket sitting at around 48,000. But obviously, considering the fact that we've seen a lot of bullish price action over the last few weeks, it's unlikely we're going to go straight to 48k without any pullback beforehand. And so once again, like I said earlier, we usually end up seeing some struggle around these areas of resistance, so just keep that in mind moving forwards. And if you're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin chart, obviously right now in terms of the trend and momentum, like I've been saying for a while, we are still clearly looking more bullish than bearish. We are trending in the bullish direction. But with that being said, just over the last 1 week or so, if you're looking at the MACD, this has been showing declining bullish momentum, so we have not confirmed any bearish reversal. But with that being said, the bullish trend on the daily time frame has been slowing down compared to what we saw around 1 to 2 weeks ago. And something similar can be said about the daily Bitcoin RSI, which is obviously still very much overbought. And so, like I've been saying almost every day over the last 1 to 2 weeks, it's likely we're going to see some lower highs begin to form here in the RSI over the coming weeks. And that will likely still happen even if the price actually forms higher highs, which means if the price does form higher highs in the coming weeks, that's a possible bearish divergence we could see. Or if the price does not form higher highs, then obviously lower highs means a pullback for the price of Bitcoin. And so essentially what this means is, based on the price action and the price oscillators, we are in a similar situation to what we saw back here around the end of March entering into early April, and also back here around the beginning of July. Because of course, if you're looking back then at the price, this was just after a major move almost straight to the upside like what we saw recently. And if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin price oscillators, these were showing very similar signals to what we're seeing right now, where the RSI was basically overbought and actually beginning to form some lower highs. And at the same time, looking at the daily Bitcoin MACD back during those periods of time back then, obviously this daily Bitcoin MACD was declining in bullish momentum, showing that the bullish trend in the short term is beginning to slow down, but we still had a little bit more room to the upside in the short term. And so once again, it is technically possible we could go a little bit higher in the price over the next 1 to 2 weeks or so, perhaps further into this area of resistance on the weekly time frame. But simply based on the fact that the price is running into this area of resistance on the weekly chart, and also the daily Bitcoin price oscillators looking somewhat overextended, once again, this means that potentially within around a month from now, we could end up seeing a bit of a pause or even a slight pullback within this bullish trend. But remember, as I've been saying almost every day since the very beginning of this year, the larger bullish trend is still intact. And so even if we see a short-term bearish trend or pullback like what we saw here or here on the daily time frame, remember, these can occur within the larger bullish trend here on the weekly time frame, because on the weekly chart, these short-term bearish trends look just like pullbacks within a bullish trend. And so once again, on the larger scales like the weekly time frame, I'm still definitely leaning more bullish than bearish on on the larger trend, as I've been saying since the very beginning of this year, below 20k. You can even check my videos back then. But anyway, if you're zooming into the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, we can see this symmetrical triangle pattern that I talked about over the last couple of days has now completed. We have seen a breakout to the upside above that resistance, which was sitting at around 34.6k approximately, and the technical price target for this symmetrical triangle pattern was sitting at around 36,000, and the price of Bitcoin pretty much exactly hit 36,000. And so obviously congrats to any of you who took this trade, basically set a conditional order to open a long position just above resistance with a take profit just before the technical price target, which is a strategy I talk about multiple times here on this channel. And if you're wondering where you can actually take these trades, where you can set these conditional orders and take profits and make a lot of money from these breakout moves, usually I trade over on Bybit, and I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And in fact, if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account, you can claim a massive deposit bonus when you first deposit onto your new account. But unfortunately, in some countries around the world, you cannot access Bybit due to regulations. And so if that's the case, there is also Bitflex as a backup option, which is just like Bybit, but you can access Bitflex without KYC. And I'll also leave a link to Bitflex in the description down below and in the pinned comment. But anyway, getting back into the Bitcoin chart, looking at the 6-hour Bitcoin chart, what we can see is a clear breakout from this ascending triangle pattern, which is a bullish pattern I also spoke about in my last video. And also in my last video, I shared this hidden bullish divergence pattern, which is a bullish continuation pattern, which is obviously playing out exactly as expected. Because a hidden bullish divergence is when we see higher lows in the price and lower lows in the RSI, and this usually happens within a bullish trend and tells us we're about to continue the bullish trend with another move to the upside. And obviously, this is what we are now seeing. And simply based on the technical price target for this ascending triangle pattern, the technical price target for this breakout is sitting at approximately 36.5k. And in fact, if you're zooming into the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, we can see a breakout above this horizontal line of resistance, which here on the 4-hour time frame, based on these 4-hour candle closes, I have sitting closer towards around 34.8 to 34.9k. And as I mentioned on the channel back here, this is a possible bull flag pattern. And now that we're breaking out above resistance, if we're looking at the technical price targets based on this being a bullish flag pattern, that technical price target is sitting at around 38.4k. And this price target only invalidates if we see a confirmed break back below this resistance, so back below around 34.8k. But obviously, it is also important to remember that between now and this technical price target, there is also that major area of resistance in between around 36 to 38k here on the weekly time frame. And so even though based on this being a bull flag pattern, we could have this technical price target now active at 38.4k, of course, even though that's the case, we could still struggle in this area right here. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the 3-day ETH to US dollar chart. And like I've been saying over the last 1 to 2 weeks, of course, this breakout for the falling wedge pattern on the 3-day time frame is still currently active. And so obviously this means the price is bullish with a bullish price target at around 2.1k. And this price target and this pattern only invalidate if we see a confirmed break back below around 1.7k. And if you're zooming into the daily ETH to US dollar chart, we can see right now the price of ETH is actually running into this important area of resistance, sitting in between around 1850 to 1890 based on the volume profile indicator. And so at least in the imminent short term, we're seeing a slight rejection from this area of resistance, which is worth paying attention to. But if we ultimately see a confirmed breakout above 1890 with daily candle closes back above that level and back above ideally 1.9k, then in that case, in that scenario, the next major resistance on the daily time frame is sitting in between around $2,000 to 2030 based on these previous highs. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, once again, like I've been saying since all the way back down here, these price oscillators are telling us we're looking more bullish than bearish in terms of the trend and momentum. So basically any bearish price action we see is only a slight pullback and we're simply trending in the bullish direction. But once again, like I've been saying almost every day over the last 1 week or so, here in the MACD, this is showing declining bullish momentum, which does mean that the bullish trend is slowing down, at least in the short term, compared to what we saw around 1 to 2 weeks ago. But as of right now, we have not confirmed any bearish reversal, especially while this bullish divergence on the daily time frame is still currently active. And what else is active on the daily time frame is this broadening wedge pattern with a price target at around 1980. So right now, the price has gotten around halfway between the point of the breakout and the price targets. And so obviously, for those of you who have been watching my videos for the last couple of weeks, congrats if you took this trade at this breakout. And of course, the point of invalidation is always a break back below the point of the breakouts, back below this previous resistance, which is sitting at around 1730. So basically, if we confirm a break back below 1730, that would invalidate the price target and invalidate this pattern. And if you're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart, right now the price of ETH is actually forming a new ascending parallel channel. Because first of all, if you've been watching my recent videos here on the channel, I was talking about a possible horizontal parallel channel because we did have more horizontal highs back here. But now that the price in the short term has matured a little bit more, we can see a new higher high in the price after these recent higher lows in the price over the last few days. Of course, this now means we have a new line of support and a new line of resistance to pay attention to. First of all, this ascending line of support is sitting at around 1780 to 1790 approximately, and this ascending line of resistance is sitting at around 1860 approximately. And also, we cannot forget about that area of resistance on the daily time frame going up towards around 1890. So basically, that is the area of resistance we really need to break out above here on the daily time frame in order to see the next major leg to the upside. But at least for now, in the short term, we're no longer in just a horizontal range, and we're actually in an ascending parallel channel, which means the price is trending slightly in the bullish direction here in the short term. And so as the saying goes, the trend is your friend until the end, which means until the trend actually breaks with a break below that line of support. As of right now, we should be looking for buying opportunities or long opportunities near this level of support as we are forming higher lows. And in that case, for example, if I look to enter a long position near around 1790 to long a bounce back towards this resistance, in that case, I would also put a stop loss just below the line of support in case we actually see a break to the downside. Of course, that will take a minimal loss. But it is important to mention that nothing in this video is personal financial advice for you. I'm just letting you know my personal trading strategies, and that might be of value to you, but that is not financial advice for you. And if you want to know how to profit easily from choppy sideways price action, bullish price action, or bearish price action, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.